Hello, friend. If you are new here, welcome. Today, I'm going to cover some mistakes I see new people entering the business are making from the very beginning. And they are all mistakes that can be avoided with the proper education. So, in this video, I'm going to list those mistakes and how you should approach them and the solutions you should implement. Mistake number one, not separating your personal accounts from your business accounts. So when you're starting a new business, you have to establish your business name, right? Once you establish your business name, you go on sunbiz.org, you register the business, or you can have your CPA do all of these steps for you. Being able to have a CPA set up your business structure is most important steps. And once you know your business structure is approved, at this point, you need to create a business email. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It is simple as creating a Gmail account that is associated to your business. You will use this Gmail account to communicate with whomever you need to communicate with relating to your business. What I'm seeing new people getting into the business are doing, they are using their personal email for all of the communication, and that's completely wrong. First of all, you should be separating altogether your personal from your business, and it starts with the email. What happens if, God forbid, your personal email is hacked? Now you lost all of the communication you had going on with your business and everything else that can go wrong. But even beyond that, you limit yourself to one email, and that one email have your personal information in it. And in case you needed to share that email with a staff member, now you really can't, because now they're going to know your personal business. And I'm not sure you want people to know so much about you, right? So you want to be able to separate your business email from your personal email. And the minute you find out that you're starting your business, you have a name, create a Gmail account. From that Gmail account, you'll be able to use the drive, right? You use the drive, you use the Excel sheet for networking. When you start networking, you can write the name of the person you met, what company they work for, their emails and phone numbers. And now, once you have a CRM system, a customer relation management system, or even just, I don't want to complicate it, making it seem so scary, but really an email marketing platform. For example, Constant Contact is one. When I was developing my email list, I used Constant Contact. But Flowdesk, for example, is another one. But then once you have an email marketing platform, you'll be able to upload that spreadsheet that you created with those contact information into that email platform. And now you can start sending email marketing from a email marketing software. But the point is here, keeping it simple, just do a Gmail account, use that Gmail as your business email. Now, once you get the business up and running and now you have a website, you can do an info at, but I highly recommend, even if you do an info at email from your domain, you still have a business Gmail account, because you'll be able to use that for files, for videos to train staff, for checklists, and to receive shared documents from your consultant. Gmail accounts give you a whole bunch of flexibility, and it gives you options. Let's say, God forbid, your info at email is hacked. Now you still have your Gmail account that you can communicate with. But what I'm seeing newbies are doing, they are starting all of the communication from their personal email. You should be able to separate the two and not having to pay for anything, because Gmail is free. You start using that Gmail account, for example, to make zoning request inquiries, to contact your consultant, to, for example, contact your sprinkler, your alarm company, your generator company. You end up having everything in one place. And so if you ever forgot anything, you don't have to go crazy trying to go through all of your inbox, because all of your emails are combined into your personal email. You want to be able to separate separate them. And I know there's a lot more to separate, but I'm not going too much into separating your personal bank account from your business bank account, which is something that you should be doing. Your business entity is a separate entity, and you should not be mixing the two. The other reason why you want to be able to have a separate business email is because you'll be able to share access. For, let's say, for example, you hire a consultant who needs to apply for certain things from the online portal. Different areas of Florida are very heavy online, and they may need, for certain aspects of your process, your zoning, for example, is one of the first ones that you need to be applied for online from a portal. You have to create a portal, you have to submit the research, you have to submit the documents. But if you have a business email and then you have, let's say, for example, NordPass or any other password sharing platforms, NordPass is one that I've used or that I'm still currently using with my team. I've used also OnePass. There are many out there that you can use because you don't necessarily have to share your username and password to be able to share access with someone into your business email account. So, for example, you would use NordPass and you can share password with the new staff and your consultant, for example, to do something for you with your county or to access or create a portal to work on your behalf without ever allowing them to see what your actual password is. So, for example, they'll log in. Both of you would have NordPass, for example, and then when they go to put the password, all they seeing is little dots. They're not actually seeing your password, and they'll be able to access that account to be able to do work for you and submit documents on your behalf. And now you'll have records of those communication and you'll be able to know what's going on, for example. One of the biggest issue that I see new operators are facing is they hire a staff member. They don't have any policies, procedures over access and accessing accounts, emails, and how those communications should be managed. And when that employee gets hired, they create their own accounts. And after they create their own accounts, and when they get fired or when they choose to leave you, you don't know what's going on with communications. You don't know what communication started that hasn't been completed. You don't know what resident issues are going on that you need to be fixed. You don't know who's moving in, who was giving a rate increase letter, who was giving a 45 days notice to leave, what's the status of things. You can see how this can become a really big nightmare. Even when you have, for example, admin at the name of your ALF, your domain, as personal or job specific emails, you still need to have a plan. What happened when this staff has quit on you without any notice, and what happened to those communications? Are you going to be able to access those emails? Save yourself from these pain and sufferings, because it's easier said than done, but if you don't put those infrastructures in place, it becomes a very big nightmare very quickly for everyone involved. Last time I got on a phone call with someone who wanted to hire us to do some work for them, already licensed ALF, and I had very specific questions, things that are very basic that I needed to know, and the person simply didn't know because someone else was over that position, and the ALF owner had no idea how to access the emails, how to pick up on conversations that were left before, and had no idea about what was going on, and has completely lost control over whatever that staff member was doing. And that's not good. That is not good. And this is my my reason for making videos like this, hoping that you are going to get the proper knowledge and you could take the proper steps to save you from headaches like that. So at the end of the day, as a business owner and an operator, you have a big responsibility to care for your seniors, which we know you do that very well, but to also manage the different aspects of your business. And starting with separation of emails, because in the beginning, the very first few things you start doing, besides picking your business name and picking someone to help you with structuring the business here in Florida, is emailing your potential consultant, emailing the planning and zoning department, asking for information. So starting with the right email will really set you up. And starting with a password sharing platform like 1Password, LastPass, and I mentioned NordPass, which is what I use. They're not sponsoring this email in case you're wondering. I happen to use them because I find them to be easy to use. And so people don't implement systems when systems become too complicated. And I like to recommend systems that come across as being easier to use. Your job is to protect your business even before you get started. So the other one you want to think about is having an exit plan, right? So when a staff member is hired, what is the procedures? How do they gain access to the business assets? For example, you will have other business assets, not just the email. You will have the Facebook business page, the Instagram business page, your LinkedIn business page, your TikTok. All of those different business pages needs to have an email, preferably a separate email from an email that you use on a day-to-day basis. So you have to think about, if one of those platforms are hacked, you don't want all of your other assets to be in jeopardy because hackers happens to be very smart. So you want to consider all of those as part of your plan, because not just when a staff member leaves and you don't know what to do and how to access things, but then what if they were managing certain aspects of your business, right? Like your social media platforms. Now you have even bigger problem. So you want to be able to grant access, and those password sharing platforms allows you to do that. And then two, think about it. When you're first hiring someone, it's rosy, it's beautiful every day. And then when life happens and then they want to leave, you don't have a plan as to what's going to happen with the business. That's a really big problem. You need to know how to remove access. And those password sharing platforms will allow you to remove those access without even having to contact anyone. You log in, remove access, and you move on with different aspects of your business. And it gives you control and flexibility over your business, because as the operator or the business owner, you want to have structure and control over what's going on in the business. And you want to make proper decisions when that time comes, and you don't want to look crazy doing it, right? So those things will help you tremendously. And then a few things you should think about when you think about creating role specific emails, like info at or admin at emails. You want to have a plan from the get-go from your tech support. How are you going to access this email box when this particular staff member is no longer over that inbox, right? You always want to know how you're going to access. The other mistakes I see new owners doing, and this one is huge, is after they've hired staff members, they allow staff to create documents or save documents from their own drive, which the owner or the business don't have access to. You don't want that. You want to make sure everything is controlled under your business drive, because at the end of the day, when that team member decides that they're going to remove your access or they're going to move on with their lives, and sometimes it's not because something wrong happened. Sometimes people find other positions and they move on, and now you will not know what you lack, what documents you don't have properly saved. And the one day you need that document, you're calling that staff member or you're emailing them, they are nowhere to be found, because remember, they are no longer your employee. So you find yourself in a very big mess. And some documents units could be so important, like resident contracts. You want to be able to have all of your documents, your checklists, your staff policies, procedures, videos of trainings that you'll have when you open, or at least I recommend you have monthly trainings with your staff. And you're going to record those monthly trainings and you're going to add them to your drive. And whenever you hire a new staff, they'll go through your video trainings before you even bring them on the floor, amongst other things. That saves you time, it gives you structure, and it makes you look like you know what you're doing. And so when you don't have access to your own drive, or you have staff members who don't follow your procedures and you're not aware that, documents are not being saved under your drive, it's a big problem. Take it from me, okay? I am sitting here and I know all of this because I deal with operators from the entire state of Florida, okay? I also travel. I go to counties where people take over an operation that is very messy, and I have a program where I would go boots on ground for however many days that me and the operator feel is a good fit to turn business around, to turn the books around, to bring structure into the business, to make sure that the business is meeting compliance needs, to make sure that operational needs are being met, to set structure and to set the operator up, to do trainings with staff, to make sure everything is in place so that this new operator taking over this new business is able to be successful at it. Okay. So I hope you found this video helpful. The whole goal here is, because I know you're a caregiver, I know you have a good heart to serve our seniors, but a lot of my caregivers lack very basic business strategies. And we offer business strategies for our operators who may already be licensed or are going through the licensing process, to make sure business wise you are excelling just as much as you are excelling caring for your seniors. Yeah, so I hope you found these tips and strategies very useful, especially as a new business owner or operator, or potential business owner or operator, because they go a long way. Again, I'm Carlene Cadet Francois. We help busy professionals convert buildings into thriving assisted living in group homes right here in Florida. If you found this video helpful, please consider like, subscribe, and share it with someone that will find it valuable. And if you have not downloaded the freebie workbook, you want to get hold of it. It has a lot of great information inside of it. Click the link in the description to find out more and to learn how you can work with us. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.